believe Mr. Legarreta is not going to be in attendance today. I'll take roll. Member Garay,
Here.
VP Gonzalez,
Here.
Secretary Legarreta, Member Montes. I
Here.
believe Zoom, yes, thank you. And myself, President Marquez, present. Okay, we do have a quorum. Will you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of Mexico, who is the symbol of perfection among the agricultures. Okay, approval of consent agenda, item number 1, members of the board, are there any items that you wish to be removed from the consent agenda and discussed individually? Okay, I take that as a no, and I will go ahead and read the consent agenda items. 1A, approval of agenda. 1B, approval of minutes, regular board meeting 9/18/24. 1C, approval of bills, September 2024. And 1D, approval of budget adjustment request, transfer cash requests. Maintenance and transfer bars, 1,000, 24,101, 24,103, 24,106, 24,153, 24,176, 25,153, 25,278, 26,204, 27,149, 31,703. And initial budget bar. What did I miss one?
Yeah, you said this was wrong.
Oh, sorry, 1,100. Sorry about that.
11,000.
11,000. Thank you, 11,000. And the initial budget bar, 27,114 for $25,000. And I will take a voice vote. All in favor to approve the consent agenda, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, are there, let me see, anything else there? Oh, okay, item number 2, the superintendent report to A, B, C, D, and E. Mr. Chavez.
Yes, we've got lots to report today, but we're going to change the order up. And so we're actually going to start with letter C, stakeholder relationships, and the Parade of Champions. That will also be part of our Heart of a Bear Award. And so Andrew, if you can bring us up to slide 17 of the presentation. At this time, I'd like to call up Ms. Kim O'Byrne, and she's going to talk a little bit about our parade and our students that are participating. Oh.
Grand champion.
Mighty.
Heart of the Bear. That's right.
I'm going to use it like this. All right. First of all, we're missing quite a few. We have some that are in football. We have some that are racing in Pennsylvania and national race car races. We have some that were sick and unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. And we have some that I think might have been a little bit bashful about coming and standing up here in front of you. But we have a lot to celebrate tonight. And I want to commend all of these young people for what they do. They spend a great deal of time and money and effort working with animals, working on projects, spending a lot of time with their family doing these things, and they learn so much. Not only do they learn how to raise and care for animals and be a steward of those animals, but they also learn a lot about critical thinking, decision making. They learn a lot about problem solving. They learn life skills about financial literacy and investment and practical applications and thinking about what they're going to do for the next year. So planning those next projects. So I had to write these down because I told the kids, I have a mind like a trap. It's just kind of rusty. Okay. So I had to write these down, and they had so many successes that I had to write it down so that I would know. So Miss Bentley Poe was our State Fair Grand Champion Market Lamb. She also had the Southern New Mexico Reserve Grand Champion Market Lamb, and she had some sale animals that went through the Sierra County Fair. All right, so then we have Miss Reese Howell, who was our State Fair Grand Champion, New Mexico Bred Grand Champion. See, I told you I have to think about this. And then we had the Southern New Mexico State Fair Grand Champion, and she was the Grand Champion Showman for the Southern New Mexico State Fair. All right, then we have Miss Haley Russell. We had, let me see. Oh, she also had many class firsts. There were so many that we'd have been here all night going through these kids' successes if I went through each one, right? Mr. Catch Roberts he went to a lot of state fair rodeos, and this young man is what we call a roughie. He rides anything that bucks, whether it's horse or whether it's bulls, he rides it. And he does it so well, he placed all around in like numerous rodeos. So he's an up and coming, I'm sure he's got a professional career somewhere in the works there. Madison Archer unfortunately had the flu, but she had yeah, I know. But she had the Grand Champion York and the Grand Champion Cross, and she was third in the Grand Champion Drive, and numerous top placings as well. Miss Haley Russell, as you can see, has her buckles there. She had 3 pigs placing in the top of her class, and also the Grand Champion Cross. Is that correct? Okay, very good. It's like, it's hard to keep these straight. Also from the middle school, Miss Kylie Jo Roberts. I know she participated in several rodeos. They were going to try to be here tonight. I know that she's been super successful, and so we wanted to recognize that. Mr. Hayes Hyatt, who's in football right now, had the Grand Champion and a second place roaster in the poultry division. Mr. Michael Holguin had Grand Champion Duroc at the State Fair, and also placed with several more pigs at the Southern New Mexico State Fair. In fact, I think you had a 3rd place OPB, is that correct? Okay. All right. Then Mr. RJ Garay placed with his poultry, claiming a sell spot with his turkeys, and also showed breeding heifers, where he did really well. It's not just about animals, though. We also had some amazing accomplishments. We also, the Hatch FFA chapter placed 3rd at the State Fair, which is super competitive with their ag education booth. So they were educating and advocating for agriculture with their booth at the State Fair. So they did very well. And then we also had our welding. I know Nick's the only one here tonight, but there were a lot of hands that went into that trailer. If you didn't get to see it, they made bumper hitch tilting trailer in the welding shop, and they were Grand Champion small project at the Southern New Mexico State Fair. Many, many, many hours of time and learning, skills that we're trying to teach in the classroom, these kids are using in real life. So they're doing a lot. I'm going to let them introduce themselves now. So,
hi, my name is Bentley. Oh, and I go to Rio Grande Elementary. Hi, my name is Reese Howell, and I go to Hatch Valley Middle School.
Hi, I'm Haley Russell, and I go to Hatch Valley Middle School.
Hi, my name is Valerie Costa, and I go to Hatch Valley High School.
My name is Nicholas Mulvey, and I go to Hatch Valley High School.
I'm Michael Agin, and I go to Hatch Valley High School.
all right, thank you. As you can see, Hatch is the home of champions. So we're very glad to have these kids and their accomplishments. Keep up that hard work, guys. Did you want to?
We'd also like to recognize them with the Heart of the Bear recognition. And Ms. Marcus, Mr. Marcus and Kuka and Ray will be presenting those pins for our kids.
Congratulations, kiddos.
There's so much that goes on in our district, you know, the time and the effort that these kids put in. And so another round of applause for all of our kids that okay, Andrew, we can go back to the slide. Yep. Okay. And so part of the superintendent's report, and what we're doing is we're aligning with the goals that the board developed. And so the first one is student achievement, and we'll be going over Vista's data. We'll also be going over the quarterly, well, just a reminder that we have a work session next week. It should be 10/16, not 9/16. And we'll be presenting the quarterly information. And then we'll also be, during that session, we'll be talking about the interim BOY data. And so, but what I'd like to do right now is go over some of our proficiency and what we can expect. They're not official numbers as far as 2024. However, 2023 is where we scored. And so this is we've got a really good idea, and we're thinking that this is where we're going to fall as far as 2024. That those numbers will not become official until Vista's data gets released later this month, but this is what we're anticipating. And so we can see in our first data set, we've got reading proficiency. And reading proficiency as reported to Vistas is it includes all data in reading from kindergarten through 8th grade and also 11th grade. And so these are the green graphs show increases. And so what we're looking at is we're looking at some increases from 2023 to 2024. Red means we went backwards. And so we do have some areas that we did go backwards, migrant, homeless, and students with disability, and also non-economic disadvantage, which was a little surprising to me. With some of these like migrant and homeless, and it's always a population that's constantly changing. And so with migrant kids are only identified for 3 years. And so then they exit the program. And so, and homeless as well, you know, once they no longer qualify as homeless, then they're taken off the list. And so it's a very mobile subgroup. But we do capture their data, and it is captured in Vistas. And so this is our reading proficiency, and what we're hoping that but we're hoping that it'll be correct. Again, official results won't come out until later this month.
Did they come out by school, or is it just by district right now?
Just by district right now, but we could pull it by school. Okay. Math is, you know, we continue to struggle with math. And so, again, red means that we regressed. The yellow means that we stayed the same. And of course, green means that we increased. We are looking at a decrease for all students from 9% to 7%. And we continue to struggle with our math. However, we've got a lot of information to share next week as to what we're doing to address this. And so we're really hoping that for 2025, we are going to see some increases. We'll be on the rebound. And so just like we're seeing them with reading, we're really focused on math. We're doing a lot of professional development. We're really looking at our curriculum, aligning everything to the instructional scope that I've mentioned in the past. And so we continue to struggle here, but we're hoping that we'll see a change and an upward trend starting in 2025. Science, science is, we're seeing a lot of green here also, so we're expecting some growth from 23 to 24 in science. And you can see in every subgroup that we're able to report, we're seeing some increases in our science. And I really think and attribute a lot of this to a lot of our hands-on learning that we've been doing. We did see a decrease in non-economic disadvantage, which kind of is you normally don't see that. But we're talking about a very small population. And so, you know, a few students could really throw that off. And so we're going to look at that and see, you know, exactly what's going on with that subgroup, because that's not what you would typically see with that. Okay. And so those are the three areas are reading, math, and science scores. Any questions on that? Okay. All right. Under staff retention and recruitment, we do have an Alludo presentation that we're going to go over. Also in other areas as requested by the board, as we've redone all of our job descriptions, and I actually have them here. I've got one copy, so I'll share this with you, Mr. Marcus, here in a little bit. Well, let me just pass it over to you right now.
Okay.
Okay, as we'll go over that here in a second. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the teacherage funding application. Let me just start with that one because I don't have a separate slide for that. But just wanted to inform the board that we are submitting an application for teacherage funding. And so one of the things that, you know, and as far as retention is, you know, when we get new teachers that come in, you know, one of the problems that we have in our community is that we don't have housing. And so by doing this, and we're hoping that we can get some funding to actually bring in, purchase some manufactured homes and place them over by Hatch Elementary. We've got lots of land over there, and we're hoping that we could do this for several years. And this could be one of those staff retention pieces that we can offer to our new teachers and provide them a place to live. Okay. As far as the Alludo presentation, I do want to recognize that we have Julia Francis from Alludo that's online with us, and she's just there for support. And so, Julia, I just want to thank you for being here, and we also have Carrie Hernandez that's going to help us with this presentation as well. And so at the request of the board, you guys wanted to know about Alludo and what Alludo was. And so we're going to try to share a little bit about what Alludo is all about. And so our goals for the Hatch Valley, it's all about professional learning. And so this is geared towards the teachers. And we had some success with it last year, and we're looking to see if we can just expand upon some of the numbers that we saw from last year. But what it does, it provides us individual learning time for teachers. It's differentiated. And so teachers can go in at, you know, and do the modules, do whatever it is that they're interested in learning. This year, what we're doing is we're tying it to the evaluation instrument. Okay, and we'll show you how that looks here in a second. But it's also for our principals to be able to work with our teachers and say, you know, I see that you're struggling with, let's just say, for example, classroom management. And they can go to Alludo and do a module on classroom management. So it's on demand and anytime access from anywhere. It's web-based, so they can get it from they can access it from any location. Digital and micro learning based, and it's incentivized professional development for engagement. And so we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like here in a second. But this is in 1 year, this is what we've done. So this is actually data. If Carrie, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is from last October to this October, to, you know, so 1 year of data. And so we've got 65% of our teachers that have engaged in the program. And so so that's really that's a large population. And with that, we had 277 hours of professional development that was provided to our teachers. There's been nearly 1,000 learning activities completed as well. And here's the district results on the right hand, on the right hand side. You know, all the activities, the learner engagement, the hours and, so it is, I've got to be honest and I got to tell you that I didn't think it would be received this well, but I'm sure glad that it was. And, so our staff are really taking it seriously and so we're thinking that this year tying it to the evaluation instrument is going to generate even that much more interest in it. Okay. These are the badges that our teachers, they receive when they complete different classes. And so these are just examples of those badges and what teachers are getting when they complete a course. Did I say that correctly, Carrie? Okay. And I said that what we're doing, and Julia's just been so supportive and helping us align what Alludo has to offer to the different evaluation domains. So not just the domains, but also the subdomains, the indicators underneath the domains. And so we've got everything covered under Alludo. So if a principal is working with a teacher and says, really want you to work on domain 1A, demonstrating knowledge and content, they can go directly to Alludo and know exactly what course to take. Okay. And so this is how it broke down. So this is a year's data, from last October to this October. This is where our teachers focused on, okay, according to the domains. So you can see that a lot of our teachers participated in domain 4E, and for whatever reason, that's where they really wanted to focus. And so followed by 4B, and then I believe domain 1D. And so again, this is a year's worth of data, but it kind of gives us an idea of where our teachers are focused on, what they're looking at. And so one of the things that we'd like to see is we'd like to see more in domain 2 and domain 3. Okay. And these are the incentives. And so I said, when I first learned about Alludo, I said, gosh, this is Alludo is like AR, that kids do, but it's a AR for teachers. And so because they get prizes, and so they have weekly raffles. We have top learner at each school. We have gratitude month, and I believe that's coming up during the month of November. And we have Den awards. And so these are just some of the prizes. We usually give like professional development, so book or classroom supplies. And so we want to make it an incentive for teachers. And boy, some of them have really taken that and are very competitive in wanting to get those prizes. The gratitude month is in November, and so Alludo is actually going to be sponsoring that. Is my understanding? Is that correct, Carrie? And so when Alludo does, of course they have prizes that we can't offer, like gift cards and things like that. So we're really looking forward to that and seeing if the impact that it's going to have with our teachers. Okay. And there's a playlist by sites and or domain. And so every school has a different area and where they can access the program from. And so Carrie, do you want to just fill in a little bit go over what I missed, and Julia, help us out and
Board President Marcus and the board. I'm Carrie Hernandez, and I've been tasked with helping oversee the software and engaging what we've been using, what we haven't been using. But with Alludo, you can see that this micro professional development, which is non-traditional because normally we're used to sitting in a PLC, and we have those going on. Okay, so this is to supplement and support what we have going on in the district. We have Math PD. We got I could go through the list, but that's not the point here. The point here is to see where we were last year. We've redecked the modules, and I know Ms. Zamora got on recently, and so you didn't see very much there, but we've revitalized them to take out the ones that aren't applicable to the board goals and objectives and focusing on our PD. As our site principals have finished PD this week, are setting up the first PD round of where goals and objectives for each instructor. They will be able to come in here and go ahead and have a little bit more deeper depth one-on-one. But it also helps those teachers who may not be able to participate in a full group be able to come on and participate individually. With the badging system, it's kind of like a rubric, and you see where they are and how they progressed through that module. Those are some of the things that are going on. Last year, we only focused on teachers. This year, we opened the portal up to have more of our staff members across the district have availability. Let's say transportation has workshops that they need to do. They can individualize and do those. If physical plant has some specific things they need to do, then they can go ahead and we can develop those. So they offer us, Alludo has been ongoing for, gosh, Julia, I don't know. I did some research here, and it goes way back even to the 80s, 90s as a software company. But you know, we have 15 schools in New Mexico and 675. So they individualized based on what we're looking at nationally, but more importantly, Alludo allows us. We didn't use it last year to the fidelity we could have. So this helps us focus. More importantly, it gives the site principals more flexibility and our department heads more flexibility on making sure our staff is up to date, get the professional development and safety. Is there anything else I missed, Julia?
I don't think so. Carrie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You guys summed it up great. The only thing I would add, and Carrie, you touched on it, is you want to take a combination of that base level of training that all educators are using nationally on our platform and combine it with custom content and training topics that are specific and really relevant at Hatch Valley. And so I think that's where we bring together the general foundational needs from an educator perspective with the more custom activities and training needs that you might have there at Hatch. So we're excited to work with you again this year.
Yeah, and I give you a shout out, Julia, and your team, because you guys are working, you have a statewide contract working with 26,000 educators across the state. Is that correct?
In California, yes, MTSS training.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I guess my question would be, is it you get on and it's a video, or there's actually interaction with the person on the other end?
No, there's not a person at the other end, but there are activities that are similar to that mirror the activities that we as instructors would have to complete, so that our team sees there's in-game rubrics that they have to hit or marks that they have to hit.
So then you'll see a video of what it's supposed to look like towards the end.
Is that correct? Because there's activities in there, Julia. It's not just
Yeah.
a video.
Right.
So maybe this might explain it a little bit simpler. When I go in and I select a microlearning activity, it may take me 5, 10, 15 minutes to complete that activity. What I'm selecting is a specific skill or task that I'm going to learn. What's different about our platform is that the way that we show evidence of understanding of that training is we have the learner submit evidence. The evidence could be a link to something they've created, like a lesson plan. It could be a reflection on training. It could be answers to questions. It's a variety of different types of evidence components that we can ask for. And once the learner submits that evidence, it's then reviewed by our team on the back end. So the reports that Mr. Chavez was sharing with you, those reports are possible because of the evidence data that we're able to present. And you can add any type of content and ask for any type of evidence components. The way that they learn is, as Carrie mentioned, either through video, images, interactions, that type of thing.
And that evidence is really critical for the site administrator, especially if we're focusing on teachers or teacher gain. It's really important for the site principal to see that they're gaining the knowledge, not only how Alludo sees that rubric, but we're all on the same page. I have to give a shout out to their team. They understand our domains and they understand some of our barriers.
And are the principals able to see what you turned in?
Yeah,
to
they
see
will
if
be.
That's what
Yes.
Yes,
you're looking for?
yes.
So
Okay.
similar
working
to the
on that
micro
now.
credentialing right now that the teachers do.
Correct.
Similar to that.
Mhm.
Approximately how long does each module take to complete?
You know,
What's the
just
start?
like Julia said, it can take anywhere from 5 minutes to, 20, 30 minutes, depending on what
module?
depth. Right. Also, to your point, the micro credentials help them keep their portfolio. So when the state needs the micro credentials, that's a different micro credential, but the evidence that they do here can help them with their personal. It gets crazy because micro credentials, we didn't use that term back in the day, right? We just did it.
What I like is it's differentiated. And
Yes.
so, and it's, it really is about our teachers. It's them personally taking, that initiative to say, this is where I need to grow.
Mhm.
Right.
And so taking the initiative, going there. And so what we're doing is providing them the tools, but we're giving them choices, lots of choices to be able to improve their craft of instruction.
But you're also giving the principals the
Yes.
authority to say, I need you, Jose, to take this,
Correct.
this and that.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the second year pilot.
Mhm.
The first year was just kind of, let's put it out there, let's just see how they use it. And like Mr. Chavez, most of us in the innovation station weren't expecting, out of 97 instructors, 61 participated.
Yeah.
So if we drill down, did the other ones have access? Did they know how to use it?
Yeah.
So we're still learning,
Yeah.
and like I said, last year, we just put it out there for the staff to access. And as I stated, we had a really good response. This year is a little more strategic in how we're deploying it. And yes, we will make sure that our principals understand how they can use it with their teachers.
So they're still learning that.
They're still
They haven't directed them yet, because based on the data, teachers are
Yeah.
still being.
Some principals actually participate in it as well.
Yeah.
And so they're familiar
I'm
with it.
talking about, you were saying domains 2 and 3,
Yeah.
a lot of them, or they haven't been technically directed yet, we're still learning that. right?
Correct. We just aligned it this year
Mhm.
to the different domains.
Hey, pardon interruption, I have a message from Mr. Montes.
Mhm.
Yeah. Any success stories to share with us? No, not just directed to you, Mr. Chavez, or.
I know we had success, and I know we had teachers, but I
From other
can't.
districts.
From other districts?
There's
I don't know. Julia would have to give us information from other districts.
So I'll try and keep it brief because I love to talk about the customers we work with. They're amazing. One customer in particular was Harupa School District in California, and they started working with us during COVID. Our largest footprint, by the way, is in the California area. We work a lot with Southern California and Riverside County area. So they reached out to us and said, we need to do online learning very quickly because of COVID, obviously, for obvious reasons. And we were able to get their district up and running within about 2 to 3 weeks, which is very quick given we do specialization and customization, et cetera. So they initially just licensed with us with about 700 users, about 80% of their teachers. And they said, let's just start with that. We're not really sure where it's going to go and what we're going to do with it, but let's just get started there. And between when we launched, which was around, well, I won't go into too many details, but anyhow, once they launched, within about 3 months of launching, they went from 700 users to nearly 1,500. We were able to support them not only with all of their teachers, 100% of their teachers, but then also their classified staff. We had bus drivers, we had people in nurses and counseling and all of these other different departments that were using the platform. And we've done a case study with them. We've actually done some presentations. The biggest takeaway was that everyone in the district felt like they were part of something together. And that's what was so exciting about it is, as Mr. Chavez was saying, the platform allows you to have choice. So you're going to go in potentially and concentrate on areas where you really feel like you need support. So bus drivers and nurses and what have you were saying, wow, these are things that we had never been exposed to in our roles in terms of learning, that we were able to have that opportunity. So it was like equal opportunity for everybody across the board. They felt very included, and we've worked with them now guess we're going on 4 years, so it's a lot of fun.
And back to our district, thank you, Julia, for that. And back to our district, how we rolled it out this semester. This semester was, we started in August. And so for those teachers, and we celebrated the teachers who were in the top 6, and I'm sorry, I don't have the names with me here. I know one was a math teacher and one was an English teacher, but they had put in so many hours. But whoever got on in August and put in the most hours actually got a ticket to the football game, a pair of tickets to go to the football game. So these are incentivized with what we're doing. And it was exciting. I have to say there's a educator here. Her name is Claire Tavino. And she actually comes into the district at the high school real early in the morning. And she traditionally, every day she comes in and does a new micro credential. I can't keep up with her prices. So as we move along, now that we've got these aligned this month, we'll be able, before the end of the month, do, of course, the celebration for this month. But in November, those prizes will go out every day. So 30 of our instructors will have, or employees will actually have access to a prize that's provided by Aludo. So they're pretty significant prizes from last year. Yeah. So individual names, I can get those for you, Board Member Montes, if you need that for the next meeting.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
All righty. Well, thank you, Julia, for being with us this evening. Thank you, Carrie, and we hope that we can update as we move along, what our staff is doing with Aludo. So,
Thank you. Good evening.
all right, well, let's move along. Andrew, if you can bring up the presentation again. Okay. So the next one is the job descriptions. And so, Mr. Marcus, that is all the job descriptions. And we use the same format at to your request. And so this is the format that it looks like. It starts, with the statement at the top, and then the position, the location, supervisor, who they report to, general job description, and then essential duties and responsibilities, qualifications, physical requirements, equipment, materials handled, work environment, terms of employment, salary, and benefits available. And so that we try to follow the same format for every job description. We probably have some final revisions that we need to look at with each one, but we're the majority of everything that's there is I think everybody's represented in a job description. And so we're glad to present that to you. We did work with an educational consultant to bring us all up to speed on that. And so.
Awesome. And once they're finalized, or those be put up on the website?
Yes, sir.
We can put those up.
Yes, sir.
They look good.
Okay. Great. All righty. Any other questions with the job descriptions? Okay. All right. We already did the Parade of Champions and the Heart of a Bear. The next one that we want to report is the Food Pantry Mural Project. And so, as you know, we have our food pantry just right across the street over here. And one of the things that Casa de Peregrinos is working with us is they want our high school art teacher to lead our kids in drawing this mural for the outside. And the theme is going to be they want the mural to capture, and they want the kids to be creative and come up with it. But we want it to capture the Hatch Valley. And so we're really looking forward to that. They're going to be getting ideas, working with the kids, and coming up with the design for that. And so I just wanted to report that as we move forward with the food pantry. The next is on safety. I want to talk a little bit about the security window film project. And I don't know if Mr. Zamora is here or not. I don't see him. He probably had soccer practice. And so, but what I wanted to report is that we're fixing to get started on doing the window film, the security window film over at Hatch Elementary and Hatch Middle School. Okay. And then later in the year, we will be doing Rio Grande, and also the high school. Okay. And it's already, I think we've already reported that it's already been installed over at Garfield. Okay. All right. And facilities, just want to report that Andrew felt like we needed to replace the building, the roof on the building that houses all of our servers and all of our data hardware. And he said, you know, we got holes in the roof, and
Where's the
well,
building?
it's over by transportation. Yeah.
Oh.
It's actually where he was housed, you know, him and his team, before they upgraded and came over here. But all of our equipment is over there, and so they've replaced the decking. Well, I was told that there wasn't any decking, and that's why. So one of the things that Andrew said was that you know, it's amazing that it never leaked, because you could see sunlight through the roof, and so.
It
and-
only leaks when it rains. Oh, see, that we don't have a problem.
So we're very fortunate. And so, so they added decking, and they're putting the roof on now. And so that's, we're really happy to see that. I do also want to report that we are applying, or we have applied for a system space application for improvements at Hatch Valley Middle School. And as you know, Hatch Valley Middle School is our oldest building, and it needs some work. And so one of the things that we're going to be working on is the envelope, or the exterior. And so what that'll entail is a new stucco for the outside. It'll also include a drainage plan, because we got a lot of flooding that happens on the northeast part of the building in that area. And so so we're hoping that we can see how much we're awarded to, and see how far we get with the money that they award us. And so I believe that's it. And so do you have any questions?
Sir.
All right.
Yep.
Great.
Item 3 on the agenda, limited public comment. Right, I can't make this.
Dice que no.
No. Okay.
No.
Gracias. Okay. Item 4, new business. Consider approval purchase of bleachers. Mr. Chavez.
So the purchase of bleachers is for Hatch Valley Middle School. And you know, for, well, I don't know how long, probably since the building was built, they only had bleachers on one side in the gym. And you know, it gets really, really packed when we have like tournaments, and especially when they have their promotion ceremony at the end of the year. And so we said, well, why don't we have bleachers on the other side, you know? And so so we started looking at that, and that's what this is for, is for the bleachers. And I believe Mr. Fernie Sanchez is here, and to stand for any questions that you have. And I know Tish was here, and I think she stepped out, and so I don't know
Yeah.
if Amber's here. Oh, there's Amber. And so
Will room or a setup for scorekeeping on that side?
I don't know, Mr. Sanchez. Yeah, I know you're the one that got us the quote.
First of all, thank you for having me. Yes, there is. So what we did was, on the current side right now, there's 6 rows. Met with Miss Perry too. Miss Perry been involved in any type of upgrade we've done at the middle school. We talked and discussed making that side only 5 rows. And what that would do is, so when the bleachers come out, there's still the room there to place the chairs, to have the events without it crowding the area. So we went out
How
there.
many- Approximately, how many will that seat? 5 rows.
It's 84 feet long. So
it's
it
a
goes
whole
the
base
same with,
instead
yeah,
of-
so
yeah.
just 1 row less than their side. I've asked Corey Lucas, who's our representative, the rep that we're going through, for an exact number. They were just mirroring what we had on the other side in terms of length, so it would look, it's just gonna be 1 row shorter.
How many fit on the other side?
Does Perry know
All
that
your
answer?
school, doesn't it? Yeah.
Oh, wow. 300.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
So
So we should get maybe about 250 or so.
250.
So it should alleviate a lot of that, just
Mhm,
overcrowding.
congestion.
And I know you've been to the graduation ceremony, and like we're rolling out chairs. When I was there, and I know Miss Perry and them, they're like throwing out chairs just when you think you've got enough, then there's more. So it just will give enough space for those things and for the athletic
Yeah, but the
events.
size, it can accommodate 500 people, then fire
Yes.
code and all that, right? It can
Mhm. Yes,
accommodate
yeah,
that.
the gym size itself
This
is
gym
good.
sizes, yeah. Just that we didn't probably have the money back then or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I always ask,
Yeah, okay.
you know,
Yeah.
so yeah, I just think it's a good, it's a good investment for, you know, something that is needed. And, you know, it's also when we have competition or whether it's volleyball or basketball, you know, we're so crowded and when we get some of these
Thank you.
rivalry, games, you know,
Yeah.
it's a good thing to separate people, right? And, but, yes, so that's, my recommendation is for approval.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve? Okay, moved by Ms. Guy,
Seconded.
seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. Okay, any further discussion, Mr. Montes? Okay, I will take a roll call vote. If you are in favor, say aye. If opposed, say no. Member Garay,
Yes.
VP Gonzalez,
Aye.
Member Montes,
Aye.
myself, President Marquez, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Okay. Item 4B, consider approval of resolution of disposal of property.
So we are looking at, and we don't have a list. I'm passing the list out right now. And this is a preliminary list. This is what we right now have identified to go to auction. This is just stuff that is end of life or,
Yeah, just
Did-
nowhere else to put it, right?
I'm sorry, yeah.
Nowhere else to.
Yes.
This stuff.
And so, you know, it's you know, as things start piling up and it's not good to have all that. And so we just want a disposal. And so we'll send it to auction like we have in the past. And so what we're doing is we've identified all these things on the list, but what we're doing now is we're going out to like our schools, our principals and saying, look, here's some things that you might be interested if you can use, you know, we'd rather, you know, redistribute it within the district, you know, instead of getting rid of it if they can use it. Now, some of this stuff is just, like I said, it's end of life. And so one of the things that I always mention to our principals is don't be a pack rat either. You know, don't, you know, if it's not usable, don't go over and pick it up. You know, let's get rid of it. Let's buy something new. And so that's the list of what we're looking at right now. And we'll have it finalized in the next week or so.
Hello Kitty.
Who's the auctioneer? Who are you using?
I don't know. Shelley? You don't remember?
No.
Okay, all righty.
I think the last time you used J&J, you know? You used J&J.
Yeah, I think it'll be the same company.
All right, so I'll entertain the motion to approve the
So
resolution.
moved.
Moved by Ms. Garay,
Seconded.
Second.
seconded by Mr. Montes. Yeah, I'll go and take a roll call vote. If you are in favor, say aye. If opposed, say no. Member Garay,
Yes.
VP Gonzalez.
Aye.
Member Montes,
Aye.
myself, President Marquez, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Okay, Item 5 of the agenda, items for future meetings. And we were, I believe, Mr. Chavez, the quarterly data, that was the work session that we're talking about, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So
When is that?
we will have all the quarterly data from all our different schools presented next week.
So that would be Tuesday,
It'll be Wednesday.
Not Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Not Tuesday.
Okay, Wednesday.
Wednesday, and I believe it's scheduled 4:30.
Is that? You need to move that a little bit later? Let's do that.
No,
No, you should.
no. I gotta look at my other calendar.
Okay, and Mr. Montes, does 4:30 work for you?
That's fine.
And the work session would be here, Mr. Chavez?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, 4:30 doesn't work. for me. I'm in a meeting till 5. I'm in a meeting till 5. I can
5?
commute online in a meeting, but I won't be able to join till 5.
That's fine.
Till 5?
Till at 5, I
Till
can join at
5, you
5.
can join via Zoom?
No, I can join live. I
Oh,
can
live,
commute
okay.
and Zoom in my car.
Oh, okay, okay, that will work, so we can start that at 5. Is that
It's a training.
okay, okay. All right, so we can move that to 5 o'clock, would that be okay? The work
Fine.
session at 5? Just at 5 p.m. And Mr. Charlie said that all the schools, all the building principals will be presenting, or you'll be presenting? the-
Well, I'll be presenting, but
Okay,
they'll
the
stand for
same.
questions.
Okay, those.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, just speak it.
Oh. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and move that work session from 4:30 to 5 o'clock on Wednesday, the 16th of October. Any other items for future? Well, that's not really a future meeting, but the work session. But for our next regular board meeting, is there anything else that you think of right now? Okay. All right, item number 6, next regular board meeting will be held November 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. right here in this same location. All right, item 7, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Ms. Caray, seconded by Mr. Gonzalez. I will take a voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
Aye. All
Aye.
No? Motion carries 5-0. 4-0.
4-0.
4-0. Meeting adjourned.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Montes.
Richard, it's that Superintendent's Academy. I have a Superintendent's Academy.
It's not that.
No.
Okay.